Hello, War Eagles. My name is Giselle Mesquital, and today we have Donnell Suggs from the Gainesville Times and the Atlanta Voice. Donnell is a reporter and an editor-in-chief, so we are here to talk to him about what life as a reporter is like. How do you feel about being here today?
Oh, I'm very excited to be here today. I've heard so many good things, so I can't wait to talk to you about this.
Yes, I'm very excited to just have you here.
I appreciate it.
And I'd like to first start off by, I'd like you to say the story of how we met.
Okay, great story. I'm in the Waffle House not long after having come from reporting on a story, and I'm talking to folks about the newspaper. And then you, your mom, and your brother, if I'm not correct, perfect, were down the way. I saw you there, but just people. People at the Waffle House, the greatest restaurant in the world, by the way. Anyway, so I'm talking to folks, and then you come over and say, "Excuse me, sir, I overheard you say you were a reporter." And I'm like, "Yes." And you're like, "Could you come to my high school and interview on camera?" And I said, "Of course. I used to do this for other high schools in Atlanta. And I remember being in high school and wanting to do this, but we didn't have all this cool stuff you guys have. So it was really cool to come do this, and I appreciate you asking, so here I am."
Here you are, and once again, thank you so much for accepting this.
My pleasure.
All right, so I mentioned the Gainesville Times, and I mentioned the Atlanta Voice.
Yes.
Us, Chastity, being here in Gainesville, obviously we've heard of the Gainesville Times, but the Atlanta Voice may be a bit more unfamiliar to some people.
Sure.
So could you explain what it is?
Absolutely. The Atlanta Voice is the oldest and longest running black newspaper in Atlanta. Started 57 years ago, still running. All the other ones that started around that time are now gone. So we are the only black newspaper in the 7th largest media market in the country. So that's pretty impressive to have that longevity. So I am the editor-in-chief of that newspaper. I started working there as a freelancer in 2006 when I moved here from New York. So I've always had a long relationship. Now this is off and on, in between other jobs. And last year they asked me to take over because, lack of leadership, stories were being hard to find by people who were kind of coming in and out, maybe using the paper for benefits that come with being an editor-in-chief, but not the reporting. So I brought my experience from the Atlanta Business Chronicle, which is the 2nd largest paper in Georgia, to the Atlanta Voice, which is a lot smaller, with a lot smaller budget, but it gave me a chance to hire my own staff, get on the ground a little bit, and have a process where I could be at the beginning of the paper all the way to the end. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, that sounds, whoa.
It's high pressure, but it's
So
not.
you started at the Atlanta Voice in 2006?
Yes, as a freelancer. Someone that was new to the city, just kind of in and out.
Yes. So what year were you officially editor-in-chief?
Last year.
Last year,
August.
Last year, August.
So I haven't done a year yet.
Editor-in-chief, I have a broad understanding of what that means, but what exactly are you managing? What is the tasks that you're going in on the daily and doing?
Okay. In any traditional newspaper or probably media market, the editor-in-chief is the last voice before anything goes out. Then there would be a managing editor, and then there would be section editors. Well, because we're a smaller staff of 7 people, it's me and then everyone else is reporting. So I have to make a lot of decisions, sending reporters to different stories, editing stories, physically editing stories before we place them online, going over photos, making sure that we have proper credit. What kind of photo is this? Can you go out and get another one? Reporting myself. I write cover stories too. I write political stories. I'm our best political reporter, so I do that too. So there's a lot of hats you have to wear when you're an editor-in-chief. Now, at a bigger paper, I probably wouldn't have to do half the things because there would be people underneath me. But in this case, it's a smaller paper and it's more grassroots. So I handle a lot of different things that comes with the position.
So obviously editor-in-chief, so the stories go, you have to look at them before they
no question.
before they are published. But for you yourself as a reporter, what's the process of oh, that looks like it would be a great headline to, oh, it's now out for the public to view?
It starts with the story assignment. Go to Chastity High School and interview the staff of the War Eagle TV. Okay, fine. Send a reporter to do that. He or she goes there, they'll get the interviews, they'll get pictures, they'll be writing a story. They'll come in and submit a story to me and I'll say, you know what, you didn't mention this, or it's missing that, or maybe it's great. And then I'll edit that before we even put it online. So there's steps to be taken from the beginning of an assignment all the way to the fact it gets published online, and then ultimately in print as well, because we still print once a week. So there's a print editing and there's an online editing. Sometimes they're different. Online can be a lot longer. There's no space. There's an infinite space on the internet. Whereas a newspaper story, I might say, you don't need this graph and that graph about the scene because we only have a page, so we kind of wrap it up. So I have hands on almost every 99% of the stories that we publish.
Oh.
So it's always looking online. It's always looking at a computer screen. It's always talking to a reporter. It's a lot.
So yes, this is all newspaper and print, but was it always your plan to just focus on newspapers, or was there ever interest in like television news?
Never.
Never.
I've been on TV 6 or 7 times now, and it's always interesting because the way they do business is totally different how we do business. I don't really care about the visual as much as I care about the information. Whereas with television news, they care about a lot of both. Like you have to come in at a certain time long before it's your time to get on TV. Yeah. You have to get makeup. They do makeup. I do a lot of political TV stuff, and they always put makeup on. I'm like, I'm only a black guy. I don't need makeup. And he's like, well, yeah, you got to put makeup. And they powder stuff on my head. It's weird, but it's TV. So they have their way of doing it. They have mine, but it's all journalism in the end. It's truth-telling, it's reporting, it's fact-building, and storytelling at its finest. And we all do the same business, but it's totally different. I want nothing to do with TV.
Nothing to do with TV.
I'll come on, of course, War Eagle TV, of course.
Obviously.
But beyond, obviously, but beyond that, no, I never wanted to work in TV. I love watching the news every morning. My son and I watch Fox 5 News in Atlanta, and we watch it every morning, and then I'll watch the news at 11 o'clock at night. I watch more national news at night. But no, I don't want to do it, though.
No. All right. So something that I also like to mention is that obviously while doing research about who you are,
oh, no.
I saw that you were featured on the podcast, The Journalism Salute.
Yes.
Yes. So where you mentioned how as a kid, print was the only option, thus you fell in love with it because it was the only way. So what is it about traditional print, you say, now that we have more access to like TV, more access to social media, what is it about print that you say still gives it its stance today?
I still feel like in the end, that is the best of us. I think that as a reporter for a newspaper, i.e. the Gainesville Times, for example, I have people that are behind me that count on me to get it right because they're not out here with me. So when I come back, it has to be right. I have to tell the community stories properly. I think we get a little loose with the facts sometimes when we're in TV, Fox versus MSNBC, for example, or CNN. We're all telling the same story different ways. On the internet, forget about it. TikTok, Twitter, you never know what's coming out of that. So I'm not judging. I think it's a great medium, and I'm glad we all can talk in the way we talk. But I feel like there isn't a managing editor on the internet. I don't think there's an editor-in-chief on your TikTok. You can say whatever you want. I'm here today, and this school is the worst school in the world. And everyone's like, I graduated from there. It was great. Well, my TikTok says it's not. You can't do that in the newspaper. Your editor's going to say, why did you say it's the worst school in the world? And you have to give me facts. So as a newspaper man, I'm very proud of that because I wanted to do that when I was this tall, and I'm still doing it. And I get held accountable. I have to get it right. I can't even get a name wrong because that's someone else down the line is going to read that and go, that's not his name. I thought his name was this. And that wouldn't happen for us because I have people who edited me and who edits them and so on and so forth. So I feel like this is still the best medium for making sure we get it right.
Making sure it's right.
And I'm biased. I'm a newspaper guy. But I still feel like it's an art form.
It's an art form, definitely. And you mentioned you've sort of been interested since you were so small.
Yeah.
So
started reading
how was that journey for you? How did you start?
Okay, we go back to, we'll speed it up a little bit.
Yes.
But as a little boy, my dad and I would read, I have a twin brother, Daryl. And my dad and I and Daryl would read the sports section. Because that's all I cared about as a kid, was the Yankees, the Mets, the Knicks, the Nets, the Jets, and the Giants in New York. And we had great daily newspapers back then. The New York Daily News, for one, was the best, and the New York Post. Those were my two papers growing up as a kid. And my dad would get them both, 25 cents. You get them, we open them up. By the way, I'm not old. I'm only 45. So this isn't a million years ago. This is the 80s. But anyway, and we would read the newspapers and go down the sports section. And we'd flip them back and forth. And it was so important for my dad to read the sports section in the morning. And I thought, man, if I can ever be in the sports section, he could read me. And I would love for him to look at my stuff like he's looking at all these guys in the Daily News, New York Post. So it was always important to me. And I still send my dad, I'm 45 years old, and I'll send my dad a newspaper story. The real newspaper. I'll put it in the mail. And he'll tell me he got it, and he'll read it. And it matters to me that he still reads it. So I'm talking about maybe 6 or 7 years old. He was reading it to me, and then I'm reading it to him at 12 and 13. He can read, I'm just reading it to him. And we've always had that connection. So that was that. So going into college, well, for my college newspaper, I covered sports and music. should never let me be the music review guy again now. It's terrible. I had terrible taste in music back then in the early 2000s. So I graduated in 2002. So I was on the college paper for 3 years. And that gave me real life experience. Unlike this, which is real life experience now in high school, I got it in college. And I was a reporter for the New Tech Times, New York City Technical College. And I would go to Knicks games and write stories about the Knicks and St. John's University games. And I would cover sports. And then they would be in the paper that week, and my colleagues would walk around with the paper in their hand or whatever. And you see people read it, and you go, those are my words. And today, it still matters when someone calls me and said, I read your story in the newspaper, I really liked it, or I didn't like it. But it matters because those are my words. So one way or the other, I'm impacting people. Still, I've been in the business 20 years.
20 years.
So half my life. Almost 22 if you count college. So it's half my life I've been doing this.
Wow.
So I've always loved it. And every day I get up and I go, I'm still a newspaper reporter. I'm still a journalist. That's what I wanted to do. So it's awesome.
Do you have like a favorite thing you like to cover? Like sports or like events?
Yes.
Or...
Politics. I love campaigns. I love election night. Election the morning of, where people are lined up around. I love that. Presidential elections obviously are the ones everyone likes. I like the local election, the mayor, maybe state senator. And Clayton County, which is 70 miles from here, we're electing a new sheriff. And that's a big deal in Clayton County. So that's a special election. That's going to be in 2 weeks. I can't wait to be out there on election day, that Tuesday, interviewing people about not about who they want to vote for, but why they thought it was important to be voting. So I'm going to be outside, notepad in hand. Hello, how are you? I see you online. I mean, it's still the same stuff I was really excited about when I first started doing this in my early 20s. So politics is always number one. I'm too close to sports. I played college sports. I coach my son's teams. I love sports. So Atlanta United is my favorite team. I can't cover them. I can't go to games and write about that because I'm too close. Because that's my team. So I'll send a reporter to do that. I'll still go to the games. I want to be in the press box. The food is awesome. But really,
the food is it?
Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Shout out to Mercedes-Benz Stadium's press food court. You guys are awesome. It's the best food ever. So I go there and I'll enjoy that, being in that camaraderie amongst the other journalists, but I'll let someone else write the story. I'm too close to that team. So my feelings are, oh, we lost. And it can't be we. You're writing for everyone else. It's not we. It's them. So I don't write about Atlanta United. I don't write about the Mets. Well, here in Georgia I wouldn't. But I don't write about the Mets. So when I go to a Braves game and they're playing the Mets, I don't write anything. I'm going as a fan. I'll buy a ticket to that. And I don't buy tickets to sporting events. People invite me. But because I'm a big shot, whatever. But I don't. When I go to Mets games, I got my hat. I got my son and he's a Braves fan. He was born here, and I got my Mets jersey on and Mets there's like a silly medallion or whatever. And I'm a fan. So fans are not journalists. Two different people. So when I go to a Mets game, I'm a fan. When I go to an Atlanta United game, I'm a fan. When I go cover politics, I'm a reporter. I don't care who wins. I just got to make sure I get it right so I can give it to the people.
So, as someone who thinks, like I feel like reporting may be something I'd be really interested in.
I hope it is. We need more.
Would you say that that's like a big piece of advice you would give to, like, when it comes to reporting, sort of stay away from what you know you love?
If I had to list some things, that would be in my top 5. Please don't mix your passions. Passion for journalism, yes. Your passion for, your passion for writing about women's rights. Be careful. We don't want to say we and us and we this, and because now you're blending, and that's a blog. That's a columnist. That isn't a reporter. So if you want to get into something you love, because I think your work will always be better when you care. I care about sports. I care about politics. I care about business and real estate. I've covered those things, and it shows when I write about it. For the Gainesville Times, I wrote about a sports card store that just opened downtown. I collect soccer cards. So he sold them. So that was great. So the words in that bounce in that story, like, man, you were really into that. I'm like, no, yeah, because after we were done, I bought some stuff. Oh. And now I go back there all the time because I care about that. So you should care about what you're writing about, but you can't be too close. You shouldn't write about your mom unless it's a Mother's Day column. Like I should write about your mom, and you should go write about someone else's mom because you're too close. You're too close. What are you going to say? She's great. You're not going to say, well, she could be a little. You're not. Naturally, you won't. So that's why I don't write about Atlanta United, because if I do, it's my team. And that can be jaded. So I want everyone to understand being a journalist is awesome and it's hard work, but it's so rewarding. But you can't be in the story. You're an observer.
An observer.
You observed it. You wrote down what you saw. You talked to people, then you got out. Can't be in it. Very dangerous. That line is very thin.
All right. Well, okay, that's your advice for
Yes.
someone who may want to be a journalist, reporter. But like now, I'm a high school senior.
Sure.
In general, to us high school seniors, any advice now that we're gonna go and join the real world?
Right. Here's first a piece of advice. College is not the real world. Someone's still paying for you to be there. So it's not that much the real world. Because you still got to come back to mommy's house anyway. The real world is when you close that door behind you, there's no one else there to help you pay anything. That's the real world. So everybody relax wanting to be an adult. Relax. High school is awesome. And now that it's over, it's just another stage. Let's take it easy on wanting to be too mature. Enjoy this. Enjoy college. Find something you really want to do as an adult. Don't rush to find it. You got 4 years, sometimes 5. I took 5 or whatever. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, which is college. It's awesome. You don't have as much pressure to necessarily win so soon. I'm an adult now. I cannot come to work and not give my best because then they can hire someone else to do it. And as the editor-in-chief of a small paper, I hired them. So I have to be my best because I'm the one they look to when they say, here's a story pitch. Is it good or is it bad? Can I do this? Can I do that? So right now, high school seniors, just enjoy the ride. I'm looking at the camera. Enjoy the ride. It's so much fun. And look forward to learning in college and finding something you like. And if it's not the first year, maybe it's the second year. I mean, the majors can switch. But just enjoy it, though. I hate that we're pushing our young out so soon. Hey, hurry up, grow up, because you got to be a man or a woman. It's like, I'm in college. Let's have some fun. Let's try some things.
We should have patience with ourselves and enjoy our time.
Please. For me, because it's over for me. Please have patience for you. That's perfect. Have patience for yourself and enjoy this. You're never getting this back. I had a ball in college. I learned how to be a reporter as a kid in college. Those professors were great. The staff, I can barely remember their names. The people that was on the paper with us, they were wonderful. And I really learned the business without any pressure. It was really a lot of fun. I still have a book full of clips from college. And they're invaluable to me. I go back sometimes and I'll go, I can't believe that. That sucks. But you know what? I got to do it, though.
You got to do it.
I got to do it. It was so much fun.
All right, then. To end this interview,
Okay.
I need to know, I feel like it's the most important question that I can give you.
Oh, wow.
What's your Waffle House order?
Yes. Excellent. I have one here in Gainesville on Dawsonville Highway, and I also have one in Jonesboro. It's called chicken and eggs. Now, it's not on the menu. It's a chicken breast made almost like the chicken melt, but just no cheese and no bread. So it's the onions, tomatoes, and diced peppers on a chicken breast, medium well. Scrambled eggs with cheese, 2 eggs scrambled with cheese, and order hash browns, orange juice, and sweet tea. Because the orange juice I drink first. That's just for vitamins. But the sweet tea, I'm going to take some time. That is my order I forget the number of the store, but it's on Dawsonville Highway. And they're like, chicken and eggs? I'm like, yes. Because I've been there like 10 times already since I got this job. So that's my order.
I see your socials, and it's always Waffle House.
All day. I mean, I love it. It's the first place I ever ate in Georgia. When I got off the plane that night, you get to the hotel, and you're like, man, it's like 9 o'clock. I'm not going to a restaurant. I don't even know where I'm at, really. And I saw this lot lit up in yellow. I said, that place looks open. The lady's like, we don't close. So that's it.
Oh, so in a way, Waffle House has been there since kind of day one.
Not in a way, legit. Day one. And so I might eat at the Waffle House at least once a week, minimum. If not twice. Oh, sure. I take my son every Saturday.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Well, all right then. That wraps up the interview.
Great.
Thank you so much.
So much fun.
Yes, I really enjoyed having you here.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yes. All right, that is all.
See y'all.